Hello YouTube, it's PS5 Gaming Scotland here and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are well and gaming lots. So in today's video we'll be going over all the events and all the happenings, all the goings on from the recent PS5 Reveal Event. I'll be giving you my thoughts of each game and just the show in general. So without further ado, let's jump into my thoughts of the PS5 consoles and games that were recently revealed. Now obviously if you haven't seen this show, it was over an hour in length. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a full link to the full stream in the video description for you guys to watch it in your own time. Today's video will contain spoilers of that reveal stream, so I will be going over and giving you my thoughts and opinions on the games that were on offer and just the stream in general. So obviously watch that first and then come back and interact with the video if you don't want to get spoiled. So that being said, PS5 reveal stream. Now Sony did announce beforehand that the stream was going to be at 1080p 30 frames per second. This thing was just to make sure that the actual stream itself is better for everybody that watched it, as they were probably anticipating millions of people watching it around the world, which that was indeed the case. At one point, one of the streams I was watching was over 1.3 million people and at any one time, which was absolutely insane. So yes, obviously hype for this event has been building for months, probably years. It was unfortunate that it was originally delayed on June 4th. I did do a video and I did do a pinned comment regarding that. But anyway, yeah, so today's video we'll be talking about my opinions on the games from the event. As always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What games were you excited to see, or what games did you want to see? Were you pleased with the actual games that they showed off? As always, let me know and keep the discussion going down in the comments below. So yeah, so the first sort of announcement was GTA 5 enhanced version for PS5 2021. So PS5 owners will get GTA Online for free at launch in 2021, whereas PS4 owners get 1 million in cash and GTA Online every month until GTA 5 PS5 launches 2021. That was a good idea, I think. Good to get both sets of fans and owners excited. But when I first saw the Rockstar logo, I thought, oh my god, we're going to get a new GTA game, a new GTA 6. I definitely think that is on the cards. It's in early development if reports are rumoured to be true. But yeah, so that's still good. I'm a fan of GTA, not so much online, but yeah, I've had some great times online with friends, so that's really good, exciting news actually to kick off. And then we got the big reveal for the next game. That was Spider-Man Miles Morales, coming holiday 2020. So that sounds like it's a launch title, so it's a sequel to Spider-Man PS4 from 2018. Obviously I won't go into too much detail with the first game. Obviously if you've not played it, then I suggest you play it. You play as Miles Morales, one of the characters from the first game. Won't tell you what happens in the first game, but yeah, that is really big exciting news. I was late to playing the Spider-Man PS4 and I'm not a bigger superhero fan, but as in terms of detail and gameplay, it was just incredible. I thoroughly enjoyed playing the first game and I really am looking forward and I can't wait to hopefully play it in holiday 2020. So next up we had Gran Turismo 7 from Polyphony Digital, who are the makers of Gran Turismo. Now obviously this Gran Turismo 7, the logo was leaked a couple of weeks ago, so obviously this is pretty much a staple of the new consoles. Gran Turismo has pretty much been on every PlayStation console, and Polyphony Digital is basically the makers of Gran Turismo. I think that's their only game, I believe, that they've made. So yeah, that was obviously guaranteed pretty much at this point. Yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm not a massive simulation driving fan, I'm more of an arcade racing fan, to be honest, like Burnout, Need for Speed, etc. But yeah, so it's a good game to show off the technical aspects of the PS5, I think, and yeah, it'd be one that I'll be looking out for definitely. So next up then from Insomniac Games we had Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. So this looks like a new Ratchet & Clank game. Well, it is a new Ratchet & Clank game. It looked as though it was showing off the new SSD features and how fast Ratchet & Clank were going zipping through the different areas. So I'm assuming there'll be no loading screens on the PS5 and that you'll be able to get from A to B very, very quickly. So the need for fast travel would be literally impossible, no loading screens in between. I'm really looking forward to a new Ratchet & Clank game. Be interesting to see what the story is, because I think the last game was the remaster, the remake from 2016, so I'm looking forward to see how they take the story going forward. But yeah, I love Ratchet & Clank. It's one of my games that I played growing up as a child, so it'll be good to continue the adventure maybe, or see what happens with the new Ratchet & Clank game. Next up there was a new game called Project Anthea. It was a PlayStation exclusive made by Square Enix. That was interesting, it looked quite intriguing to be honest. I want to see what happens with that game, I want to know more about it, so hopefully there'll be more info on that going forward. So next up then we had Stray 2021, so it felt like it had a cyberpunk vibe going on it with really big neon bright lights, and it looked as though you were going to be playing as a cat. Now the attention to detail and graphics in this game look incredible, but I've never really played a game where you play as an animal, let alone a cat, so that is interesting, it's intriguing, I'm curious about it, but I don't know if it would necessarily appeal to me, but you never know. At first I thought it was that Good and Evil 2 game, but I've not heard anything more about that game at all, so so potentially looks very similar to that game, but I'm all for it. So next up then, from the makers of Resogun, we had a new psychological thriller called Returnal. Obviously Resogun was a fantastic sort of side-scrolling ship game, that was really fantastic. Now this game looked really interesting and also again intriguing. The graphics on this game looked incredible. Now obviously Sony did say that they were streaming the event 1080p 30 frames per second, but you could watch each different gaming trailer on their YouTube channel and all in 4K I believe. But I really need to go back and watch through it all in 4K because that looked really incredible, Returnal. So next up we had a new Little Big Planet game called Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I originally played Little Big Planet 1, that was incredible, that was really fun back in 2008. Played Little Big Planet 2, didn't play Little Big Planet 3, so yeah, another Little Big Planet game. I don't know if I'd necessarily go out my way to play it, but it does look more of the same, which is good if you're into that. And yeah, so it looked as though Sony catered to quite a big audience at this event. Obviously I wasn't expecting all AAA games to be at the event only. It was good that, I suppose from marketing point of view, they have to cater to a widest audience as possible. So there was a lot of indie titles which personally I'm not too fussed about, but maybe other people are, and that's absolutely fine. So we got a Destruction All-Stars. This looked like a clash between Fortnite and almost like that rollerblading game by Ubisoft. That's what it gave me the vibes of. Again, it looked quite interesting. I have to see what the story's involved, but I think that's going to be a multiplayer game because Sony did say they want to delve more into the multiplayer aspect. Next up we had Kenya Bridge of Spirit. Now this gave me a sort of Uncharted Pixar Disney film vibe to it. So you play as a lady, almost like a cartoony sort of open world game, and you go and have to try and kill enemies, I think it is. I'm not too sure, but that does look appealing. So next up then we had Goodbye Volcano High coming 2021. Now this gave me a lot of One Punch Man anime vibes, or just general anime vibes in general. Again, I'm not an anime fan at all, but again, it's appealing to different demographic, which is totally fine. Looks pretty interesting, and it'd be intriguing to see what sort of story then is involved with that game. So next up then we had a PlayStation juggernaut, and that is Oddworld Soulstorm. So Oddworld was a game in franchise that I have dabbled in the past. Oddworld New and Tasty was the most recent Oddworld game I played, and yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the story continues and goes for this new Oddworld game. It went really intriguing to see that. Now this game was announced originally at one of the E3s a couple of years ago with really cutesy Japanese happy lady, but I don't think she no longer works there, and that is Ghostwire Tokyo coming in 2021. I was really intrigued by this game because this looked like a psychological thriller set in Tokyo, Japan, where you're facing an invisible enemy. We got to see more of those enemies. It looked almost very cartoony. I'm still looking forward to Ghostwire Tokyo as I think it will be quite a good game, but it's almost got like a Persona vibe. It looks really different and looks cool. So next up we had Jet the Far Shore coming 2021. Now this was very space themed. I'm not a massive fan of space, so but again this looks interesting with the graphics. It'll be interesting to see how it goes with the story. I'm not really a fan, to be honest. But anyway, we had Godfall, which I kind of predicted would be there. That's coming holiday 2020, so based on that it could potentially be a launch exclusive Godfall. So yeah, Godfall looks like a Destiny sort of clone. Really good graphic. I think it'll have some sort of multiplayer in there as well. Personally I'm not a fan of Destiny, so yeah, that's what my thoughts are on Godfall. I'm not really fussed, to be honest, but good that they showed more gameplay of it, to be honest. Next up we had Solar Ash coming 2021. This was about a girl and it was almost like very cartoony. I had quite a nice graphic style, so I'm intrigued to see more of that. So next up then we had Hitman 3 coming January 2021. So again, I'm not massive on the Hitman games. I've not played any Hitman games, but I might actually dip my toe in and try it for the first time, as I kind of like the idea of stealth gameplay, but every time I've tried stealth sort of gameplay in the past it's never really worked out. But yeah, so Hitman 3 again, very interesting. So next up we had Astro's Playroom. At first I thought this was a VR game, but it looks like it's coming to PS5 and it's a game in its own right, collecting coins and very colourful, and it looks very interesting. And we also got a brief glimpse of the PS5 UI, I believe it was. It looks very intriguing and I cannot wait to see more on the PS5 UI going forward. Next up we had Little Devil. That was also coming. I think it was 2021, or actually I don't actually think it was given a release date. It was given on that one, so we'll need to see more on that. We've got your usual NBA 2K21, the basketball coming fall 2020. I'm not a basketball fan, but the graphics look really good for that one. But next up we had a really childish game called Bug Snatch coming holiday 2020. So this looks like it could be a launch title, potentially catering to a younger audience, which is totally cool by me. You need to try and get as many people on board at launch as possible for a new console generation. As I think this is the one where the main character was eating the strawberries, I believe. Personally didn't appeal to me, but hey ho. Next up we had the heavily rumoured Demon Souls remake by Bluepoint Games. Now personally I'm not a fan of the Souls games, as personally they don't appeal to me, but that remake looked, from what we saw, a very brief teaser trailer, if you want to call it, or gameplay, whatever it was, looked intriguing. It is starting to pique my interest, the Demon's Souls remake, and it might make me want to go back and play all the Souls games potentially, but I have to know more about it, to be honest. So next up then we had Deathloop. Now this is from Bethesda Software and Armart Studios. It's almost like a sort of group of people where you're hunting down different enemies. It's called Deathloop. I don't really know too much about that, but I remember seeing that getting revealed. Was it E3 last year potentially, or one of the Game Award presentations? I just really want to know more about it. So obviously we got Resident Evil 8 Village 2021, so the rumours were true. Set in a village where you're getting chased by a witch and there's werewolves, and it almost gives me Resident Evil 4 vibes to it. You never know. I'm really interested to see Resident Evil 8 release in 2021, but I'm currently sort of playing Resident Evil 3 Remake at the moment, so that looks going to be a long way off if I eventually get that game, which I probably will do. So next up then we had Pragmata. This is coming 2022, so this is a couple years off. It was a spaceman going through Times Square in New York talking with a wee girl and a cat, a futuristic cat. That looks really intriguing. I don't really know what it's about. Again, with most of these, I really want to know more. They've definitely piqued my interest with this presentation. There's a lot of indie titles which I'm not really too fussed of, but coming on to a really big announcement, and that's Horizon Zero Dawn 2, or Horizon 2 Forbidden West. This looks absolutely immaculate in terms of graphical fidelity, and the trailer looked incredible. Bearing in mind that was only in 1080p. New Horizon game, I really have to get my finger out and play the first Horizon game, as it looks like they'll be able to take on even bigger robot dinosaurs and mammoths in this new sequel, which I cannot wait for. So obviously the big ending, we got the announcement of the PS5 consoles, the reveal of the PS5 consoles. So my very first opinion was very futuristic, very sleek design. So basically they announced the PS5 console, this version, and the PS5 console all digital edition. Now that was kind of sort of copying Microsoft in that way with a digital edition. I wasn't expecting a digital edition, to be honest, but I suppose we are getting into more digital games. Personally, I won't be getting the digital edition whatsoever. PS5 physical media disc tray. I honestly cannot wait for that console. As soon as pre-orders go, I'll be pre-ordering if I can. Hopefully I'll make a video nearer the time about pre-orders to let you guys know as well. What we didn't get were obviously the price and the launch date. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think I was pretty much, it was a good 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 show. We got a lot of games. There's a lot of games there that I'm really intrigued, want to know more, and I really can't wait for Horizon Zero Dawn 2, the new Resident Evil 8 game, Ghostwire Tokyo, potentially a new Sackboy, definitely a new Ratchet and Clank, Returnal looked interesting, Project Athena I think it was called, and obviously the sequel to Spider-Man, just to name just a few games. I personally thought the show was incredible. Definitely is. The future of gaming has definitely arrived and is here. And let me know your thoughts down below of what games you are excited for, and yeah, let me know your thoughts of the actual event itself. Did you watch it? Did you not? As always, let me know your thoughts down below. But that is the end of today's video. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I've been PS5 Gaming Scotland, and I'll see you on another video. Thanks very much indeed, guys. Bye bye.